Good evening. I'll be doing a presentation tonight on something I am an expert in, when it appears on the screen here in a moment. Space. Surgery for beginners. Clearly a related topic. So, I went to school for this, believe it or not. Don't believe it. And you'll see here this diagram that was created to show off the aspects of the human body that you may or may not be familiar with, starting from the head at the top and working its way down here. And if you have any of these things, you should check these boxes just to make sure that you've covered all your bases there. This is the rear. I'm glad they didn't use the front one. So getting started, we'll begin by talking about these snakes here, which have also always baffled me as to why snakes and wings and some staff, and it's I don't know, it's really cool actually. So let's work our way over to this diagram here, where we do have frontal nudity. This is great. So I can talk to this body part here, which I may or may not have one, and anyway, so. As I said, this is really how surgery got started, right? It began with all these implements, and people just really didn't know what to do with them, but really, how hard can that be? And as you saw, there's some pretty serious consequences of using them incorrectly. So, yes. So let's start with this gentleman on the left here. Really, how hard can it be? This is a question I get a lot, and I have to say that it really isn't hard. You just have to make sure you use those instruments on the right parts of the body. This was a successful surgery that I was a part of back in last year, and it was great, and it worked out really well. And the point is that I could do it even without a degree in this. Even if you're a barber or you're just the right nurse, any nurse, not just any nurse, the right nurse, and you have an attitude that that means something, you can do it. You can take those implements that you saw and apply them in a way that makes sense. So and in the end, when all is said and done, you can smoke your pipe around everybody else and. And so with all that said, let's get started on some beginning points here, the basics of really doing this. And I just realized that there's two screens over here, and so let's begin with the with the diagram of the man here that really shows that you make your way from using swords and maces and ninja stars and such to what this gentleman's been using here, cats and crabs and so on. You'll find that this is actually a more natural way of doing surgery. Some cultures in the world use crabs to do heart surgery. You guys probably don't know that. I didn't know that till just now. And again, some of the tools that can be used, also include various garden implements, various other implements on here. This is awesome, and make sure you put them all in your very stylish pink handbag because you don't want to be caught without it, really. So these are really the tools that you might want to use in these situations. So as the next slide will show, there's some other things I want to talk about here, and one of them is, kidney assembly instructions. And so here's how it works. You start with a wrench, and you do some stuff. The point with all of this is really that, you could go and look in a book and try to figure out how you might do things. If you did follow these instructions, you'd just get it wrong. You would, what I like to do is just wing it, and just wing it. And you wind up with Mr. Arm Ear guy, and he's pretty cool. And he's thanked me for it. He's shaken my hand, on 3 occasions to thank me for that. So, know the risks. Power. This is a pie chart. This is why I love PowerPoint. So what I wanted to show here is really that I want you to keep in mind this number here, 28%. Okay, this is an important one because it's the largest one on the pie. and really, knowing that, I think will get you a long way. Because if you don't pay attention to this, this piece is just going to eat you up, right? I mean, all these others are just going to bother you. So, with that basic introduction, are there any questions? All right. Thank you very much. Oh, of course. Go right
Who's got a question? There, shout it loud, and we'll repeat it. What was the first surgery you ever did? And anything else? And what happened?
Well, yeah, it involved a penis, I have to say. And that's it. and what happened? Well, he thanked me. He shook my hand 4 times.
All right. I think that takes